Even when a death is recent, sometimes people take a break from crying all the time. Sometimes people actually laugh. But these breaks don't mean that the grief is over, that we are all better. Far from it. Welcome to episode 108 of Finding Words in Hard Times, the podcast. We've got stories and tools to help you be more comfortable as you help others and yourself in hard times. I'm John Swanson. I'm a hospital chaplain, a writer, and a teacher. It's spring break for schools in Northeast Indiana. Not that it matters much to Nancy and I, with a 2-year-old as the only child that we need to take into account. And Nancy not spending as much time working in the children's choir office, spring break is mostly an abstract concept to us. When our kids were in school, however, spring break was really tricky. I was in higher education. My breaks always came at a different time than K through 12. And I didn't ever figure out PTO, paid time off. When I was working at a church, spring break played this odd dance with Easter. Often, I was so busy preparing for or recovering from Easter that the idea of taking a spring break just wasn't, didn't work out very well. Um, and I'm assuming, however, that you are much better at taking breaks than I am. And I'm hoping that you have moments and minutes where you stop the hard work that you're doing and you take a break. Taking breaks is relevant for thinking about grief. Research and experience suggest that people who are grieving take breaks from the moments and seasons of deep expression of emotion. We laugh occasionally, for example, even it would feel like inappropriate times. We dig into projects, we go back to work. And this process, this behavior is consistent with the dual process model of coping with bereavement that I mentioned in episode 104. We are working through loss processes and we're working through restoration processes, and we oscillate between the two, sometimes as a way for our body and our thinking to take breaks. Now, these breaks, however, don't mean that grief is over, that we are all better. Far from it. I was talking with a woman recently whose husband died decades ago. She was troubled by people who regularly ask her if she's over it. What's the it that you're supposed to be over? I asked. Now, we had an amazing conversation. She's having fun. She took a remarkable trip for her birthday last year, 75 days before her 75th birthday. And she misses her husband deeply and daily. Talked with another person recently who said, I thought I was doing better. I'm making friends. I'm talking with people. And then the approach of Easter this year was really hard. We talked about the reasons that Easter is hard. And I confirmed that we have these reminders and seasons that end up being harder than others. And I suggested that better may not be a helpful word. And it was a reminder to this person and to me and now to you that laughing doesn't mean grief is over, and that the grief journey may include breaks for laughter and other kinds of things. We aren't disappointing anyone if we take a break to breathe in the midst of the hard work of grief. We are surviving. And if anyone says, oh, I'm glad that you're laughing, you must be all better, instead of punching them, send them to this podcast episode. Thanks for listening to Finding Words in Hard Times, the podcast where we provide stories and tools to help you be more comfortable as you help others and yourself in hard times. Subscribe to the newsletter at thisishard.substack.com. Check the show notes for links and resources. And thanks for being a helper.